Number 4 says solve x to the fourth minus 3x to the third minus x squared minus 27x minus 90 equals 0 by finding all the roots. So what I'd like you to do for this, there's really no easy way to do this by factoring from what we've learned so far. So I would like you to plug it into a calculator to start. Plug it into a calculator, find the roots by finding out where it crosses the x-axis. When we do that, we find out we get x equals -2, and the other option we get is x equals 5. So those are two of our roots. Now what we can do with those is use synthetic division and factor it on down. So I'm going to use synthetic division on the polynomial x to the fourth minus 3x to the third minus x squared minus 27x minus 90, using a coefficients of 1, -3, -1, -27, and -90. Now it doesn't matter which one of our roots we use to start. I'm going to use -2. You could use -5. It'll just give you a slightly different order. So when we're factoring on x equals -2, drop that 1, multiply by -2, we get -2. Add those together, we get -5. Multiply that by -2, we get +10. Add those together, we get 9. Multiply 9 times -2, we get -18. Add those together, we get -45. Multiply that by 2, we get +90. Add -90 and -90 and 90 together, we get 0. So we just factor it out. X equals -2, so we factor out x plus 2, which leaves us with, let me zoom out a little bit so I have a little more room to work, leaves us with x to the third minus 5x squared plus 9x minus 45. So we factored out one of our roots. Now let's factor out the other root that we know. We happen to know that x equals 5 as well, so let's factor that out. So factoring out x equals 5, drop that 1, multiply it by 5, that gives us 5. Add those together, you get 0. 0 times 5 is 0. 9 plus 0 is 9. Multiply that by 5, we get 45. Add those together, you get 0. So we just factored out, we already factored out x plus 2. We just factored out x equals 5, which means our factor is x minus 5. And we're left with x squared plus 9. Now we've already found our two roots from this first group and the second group, but now we got to figure out that root from this third group, x plus 9. Now remember, to figure out roots, if you have the factors, you set those factors equal to 0. So we got x squared plus 9 equals 0. Going through and solving, we got to subtract 9 from both sides. We get x squared equals -9. In order to get x all by itself, we got to take the square root of both sides to cancel out that square. So the square root of x squared and the square root of -9. Remember, whenever we put in a square root, we're going to get a positive output and a negative output. So we got x, or square root of -9. I'm going to, for a second, break that down into pieces that we know how to work with. Square root of 9 and square root of -1. Just remember, you can always factor things out if you need to work with more manageable square roots. Now, the square root of 9, that's 3. Square root of -1, by definition, is I. So we get x equals plus or minus 3i. So that means our three roots, we already had x equals -2, x equals 5, x equals, we've got two roots that are imaginary. We've got positive 3i and negative 3i. So since we had a degree 4, we should end up with 4 roots. We end up with 2 reals and 2 imaginaries.